Good day and hello, students. If you guys see me flying all around your computer, it's because I am probably blocking the words and the pictures of this lovely PowerPoint that I put together. Anyways, welcome back to one of my pre-recorded videos. I'm your host, Mr. Q, and like last time when you guys learned about the 5 traits that formed a civilization, in this video, you guys will be learning about the geography of the 4 major river valley civilizations. Let's begin. Hopefully by now you guys have grabbed your guided notes. If not, go grab them because you're going to need them. And like last time, you guys are just going to be filling in the blanks. So, and what do we start with in all our guided notes but the I can statement. So congratulations to whichever student answered that, because you get a gold star. Anyways, so hopefully by the end of the video, all of you can distinguish between the 4 major river valley civilizations. If you need to pause to write it down, pause it, because I'm about to flip the slide in 3, 2, 1, and done. The first major river valley civilization that you guys will be learning about in this video is Mesopotamia, the first civilization in world history. Mesopotamia developed in a region in the Middle East known as the Fertile Crescent. It was literally a region shaped like a crescent moon where all the fertile soil of that region was. Agriculture was abundant, crops were abundant, anything and everything that was suitable for the soil in that region grew. Mesopotamia developed between 2 rivers, the Tigris and the Euphrates. Pay attention to the rivers that these civilizations develop around, because they are the major bloodlines of these civilizations, for drinkable water, for trade, for anything you can imagine. Mesopotamia's meaning in Greek, meso meaning land between, and potami meaning 2 rivers, literally put it together, Mesopotamia means land between 2 rivers. Mesopotamia is located in the modern-day country, or the present-day country, of Iraq. And some major cities of Mesopotamia that you guys will learn about either in this lesson or future lessons are Sumer, Lagash, or Uruk, and Kish. Let's continue. The second river valley civilization that you guys will be learning about in this video is ancient Egypt. Egypt developed on the northeastern part of the continent of Africa, as you guys can see by this bottom part of the picture right here. Egypt developed along the banks of the 4,132-mile Nile River, which is actually shown in the blue right here underneath the green. The Nile River is divided into 2 distinct regions: Upper Nile, which is actually the southern part of the Nile, and the Lower Nile, which is actually the northern part of the Nile. Fun fact, the Nile actually flows south to north, south from the country of Sudan and north into the Mediterranean Sea. Egypt's hot climate gave rise to the Black Land and the Red Land. The Black Land being from the flooding of the Nile, which was done seasonally, and the dark silt that was in the Nile, dark silt being fertile soil, so dark fertile soil in the Nile would help nourish the surrounding soil and help grow the crops that Egypt was famous for, and help Egypt become a flourishing civilization, a later flourishing empire. The Red Land. Egypt's climate gave rise to the Red Land, which is the scorching desert that protected Egypt from invasion. So while the Black Land, which is actually shown in the green here surrounding the Nile River, the Red Land is all this beige, which is the Sahara Desert, which protected Egypt from invasion, because no one really wants to cross a hot desert to invade another civilization that's thousands of miles from where you live. Not only that, but 2 kingdoms would eventually arise in Egypt. Upper Egypt, which is the long stretch of the Nile hemmed in by desert, which is shown here where my cursor is circling, Upper Egypt being in the southern part of the Nile. Remember, Nile flows south to north. And Lower Egypt, which is the region of the Nile Delta with its fertile land and access to the Mediterranean Sea. Lower Egypt being up here. See right here? South to north. Remember, the Nile Delta empties into the Mediterranean Sea, south to north. Anyways, moving on. The third river valley civilization that you guys will be learning about in this video is the Indus River Valley Civilization, which grew on a separate continent. Now, let me explain what I mean. The Indus River Valley Civilization developed in South Asia and developed on the subcontinent of India. Millions and millions of years ago, India was separate from Asia. If you look at a map today, India is connected. When millions and millions of years ago, India finally collided with Asia, forming the Himalayan mountains. But at one time, it was its own separate continent, like Australia is its own separate continent, far away from any other continents. Anyways, if India were to break off of Asia today, it would be its own separate continent. So that's why it's called a subcontinent. Anyways, the Indus River Valley Civilization developed between two rivers, the Indus River, which gave its name to the civilization, and the Ganges River, which would become very famous and very religious for people of the Hindu faith. The Indus River Valley Civilization gave rise to the first planned cities, or cities built with the same layout and the same features. Two of these major cities that developed that sprang from the Indus River Valley Civilization are Mohenjo-Daro, which spanned 250 acres, and quickly its inhabitants would mysteriously disappear, and Harappa, which would eventually give its name to the future civilization that would develop separate from the Indus River Valley Civilization, known as the Harappan Civilization. Moving on. The fourth and final civilization. Oh no, I'm flying. The fourth and final civilization that you guys will be learning about in this video is China, the isolated river valley civilization of Eastern Asia. China developed in isolation, or it was cut off from the rest of the world. That's what isolation means, and away from the other three civilizations. China developed between two rivers. The Huanghe River, known as the Yellow River, got its name because of the yellow silt or yellow fertile soil that would help nourish the surrounding soil and help crops grow, help crops flourish, help China flourish. And also, the Yellow River is known as China's sorrow because of the frequent, constant, and deadly flooding that the Yellow River is known for. It not only destroys land, but it also destroys people. And China also developed along the Chongjiang River, or the Yangtze River. In the middle of both the Yellow and the Yangtze Rivers is the North China Plain, which is the birthplace of Chinese civilization. If you look at the map at the bottom, here's the Yellow River to the north, the Yangtze to the south, and in the middle, the North China Plain. The first two cultures to spring up in China are the Yangshao culture and the Longshan cultures, which are both Neolithic cultures, which you guys will learn about further on in lesson 2, which is the lesson that you are currently on. And this is long before the dynasties took over. So anyways, hopefully you guys learned a lot from this pre-recorded video. You guys paid attention to the rivers that these civilizations developed around because you guys will need it further on in this lesson. Anyways, smash the like button, hit subscribe, leave a comment. I'm your host, Mr. Q, and all I have to say is bye-bye.